Hello, hello. How we doing, guys? All right, let's kind of get right into it here. What am I covering today, and why am I making this video? So, the point of this video is to inform people about the career path of tech sales, whether they know about it or not. I don't know, but I'm going to kind of jump deep into it on different ways that you can kind of strategize to find your own role, how you can find good companies, how you can learn about a company that you might be interviewing with. Um, I think tech sales is an amazing career, very lucrative career, very time rich and autonomous career if you're able to get good at it. You meet a lot of cool people. You work for a lot of really good companies, or maybe just one good company, depending on your tenure. Also, want to set realistic expectations. We're going to dive into the numbers of what you can expect in your first year and your fifth year, your 10th year. Dive into what it looks like to get a role. I'll tell you guys a little bit about my community and the people that I'm helping break into the industry towards the end. Um, and yeah, so a little bit about how I personally got here. Um, Came out of college doing financial advising. Was working with people in tech sales. Luckily, I say luckily because it exposed me to the world of tech sales, which I've now been in for about 2 years. So was doing financial advising. It was great. I love personal finance, love investing, crypto, stocks, whatever. And so came out of college working with a lot of people in tech sales, everyone from, the 22-year-old SDR to the 28-year-old account executive to the, 30, 40-year-old VPs and executives and everything in between. So was exposed kind of to, how much money they were making and getting to know them very well, learning what their lives are about and learning what their careers are about and what they liked about tech sales. And man, they were making more money than I was. They seem to have better work life balance, better benefits, just kind of all around a more well rounded career. And so I said, screw it. I had a bunch of connections at the time. I did financial advising for almost 3 years, and then I pulled the plug and I said I'm going to go do this whole tech sales thing. Um, First year I was an SDR for little over a year. I'm an account executive now, coming up on my 10th month or so, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Loved every bit of it, so much so that got a little side business helping people break into tech sales, which has been a lot of fun. Um, and so, really quick, I think the first thing I want to kind of jump through is what a career path kind of looks like. Right, this is pretty rough, but just to give you a quick high level view of it. So you start off as an SDR, BDR, same thing, right? And what is that? That's a sales development representative and a business development representative. So sales development and business development. What does that really mean, right? It's kind of hard to type while you're talking. What does that really mean? So essentially, what business development is, what sales development is, those organizations inside of a software company or inside any company, as a part of the sales org, your job is to drive pipeline, create opportunity, create potential deals that the account executive team, the solutions engineers can get together and ultimately close, right? So a great example would be, let's say I'm working for software company A. I give a call to Apple, say, hey, we've got this awesome product. It's going to save you guys a ton of time on all your engineering efforts. Come sit down with us. Say, okay, sounds good, Sean. I'm the sales development representative. I set up that opportunity. I then make a meeting with my account executive that I work with and that person that I cold called to set a meeting with, or maybe I sent them an email. And now we do an evaluation. And the account executive, their job is to take them through the product, align with their goals, align with their needs, see if we can fix their pain points, streamline, kind of standardize their processes. Is this a good partnership? Is this a good long-term fit? That's what we're trying to figure out. And ultimately, if it is, the account executive is going to try to close that deal, and they get paid well to do that. So you'll probably be, as a sales development rep, you're going to make anywhere from kind of like 80 to 120 grand on average. On the low end, you'll make 75, 80. And keep in mind, this is all based in software sales. There might be sales development and business development. There is in other sectors, but I'm talking about software. On the low end in software, you'll be making 75, 80. On the high end, some of those strategic and enterprise SDRs and BDRs can make upwards of 120, 150 grand. And I'll kind of show you some of the companies where you could do that at. So you'll be in SDR, BDR world for 1 to 2 years. And then I'd say on average, it's like 14 to 20 months. And then you'll go to the small business side. And keep in mind, there's a lot of different routes that you can go. You can work with current customers. You can go to the engineering side where you demo the product. You could even go to marketing. You could go to customer success, again, working with current clients. But what I'm going to talk about today is the new logo account executive side. So those are the people that are working with people that aren't clients yet, and we're trying to close them so that they become a client, okay? So you killed it as an SDR, you hit your quota every month, every quarter, you made good money doing it, you're making good connections. Now what? Now you get promoted to small business account executive, okay? On the low end, you're going to make around 115. On the high end, you might see as high as like 200 grand. Be really, really good as a small business AE. You do that for about a year and a half, 2 years or so. And then you're looking at a mid-market account executive position. This is when you're going to start working a little bit bigger deals. You're not going to be cold calling nearly as much. On the low end, you're going to be making around 160 grand. On the high end, you might be in the 250 range. Now, one thing to keep in mind, all these numbers are based off of you hitting quota. So typically there's going to be a 50-50 split, right? Where, let's see, 50% of your salary is going to be a base. So it's like 80K base. And the other 50% is going to be variable. So this means you're only going to get that extra 80K if you hit quota. Got to hit your number. If you only get halfway to quota, you're only going to make 40K. So that means you make 120 that year, right? So it's important to perform. You get paid based on how you perform. You will get that base salary no matter what, but if you want to make that full, what we call OTE, on target earnings, base plus commission, you're going to have to perform. And if you go over that number, you get compensated well for it. There's something called accelerators where you get paid out even more if you pass your number. And that's why people on the high end can make over 200, 250 grand in the mid-market space. As we kind of look through the rest of the career path, if we're going to be an account executive, new logo, hunting deals, really being a closer, we get to the enterprise account executive level. Takes about a total of 5 to 8 years to get here. Now you're working with some of the biggest clients in the world, some of the biggest companies in the world. On the low end, you're going to be making 220. On the higher end, maybe somewhere in the 350 range. Okay. And that's actually pretty common, seeing $300,000, $350,000 OTEs. And once you get to this point, you're probably going to have some sort of a 6-figure base. Okay. And then strategic account executives, very similar to the enterprise space. In both of these spaces, you can make 7 figures on a crazy good year. 400 grand to 7 figures is an amazing year in these types of roles. But typically you'll be around the $300,000 range in this part of your career. Working with some of the coolest companies in the world, really long deal cycles. You're not going to be doing as much cold calling. You're really like a consultant, and you're really improving these businesses that you're working with. Very, very cool role. Some other types of paths that we can go down that I already kind of mentioned: account management, customer success, maybe install base account executive. This is all working with current clients, so you're not going to be cold calling. You're not going to be closing new deals. You're just going to be upselling, cross-selling, which just means selling products that they might not already be using at your company, some different pieces of the software that maybe they haven't started taking advantage of. your job might be to say, hey, let's take a look at this so that you can upsell them and making sure that they stay honest clients, nurturing that relationship. What are we selling, right? In software sales, it's business to business sales. We're selling software, right? So that means that's very broad. There's thousands of companies out there, and each has a different, sort of software that brings some sort of value, right? So I think a great example that everyone knows about would be like Microsoft Office, right? Excel, PowerPoint, Word. So if you're at Microsoft, and again, this is just an example to kind of drive the point home, maybe you're calling businesses to sell that Microsoft Office suite package where, hey, you can, use all these documents, create, put all your data in Excel, all that good stuff. Or AWS at Amazon, right? Selling cloud data. It goes on and on. Construction software, project management software. Yeah. And so what's the tech stack for kind of finding these jobs? Let's keep it simple. It's LinkedIn and RepView. Okay. So here's RepView, and then here's LinkedIn. Guys, if you haven't started getting on LinkedIn, you are way late. You need to make a LinkedIn if you're going to be doing corporate sales. If you're going to be in software sales, this is a must. I'll show you what my account looks like, right? Got all my experience here, tell you what I do, tell you what I'm about, keep it professional up top. All my different experience in my current company in tech sales, my last job, and then some internship stuff and a job that I had throughout high school or college, I should say, education, licenses, all that good stuff. And so if I'm if I'm trying to find a sales development role, first off, let's go get excited and see how much money we can make, right? So this is RepView, where I can go find companies by rank. I can go find open jobs. Again, when we're looking for jobs, I'm thinking more about LinkedIn, but RepView is how we can really vet the company and see how good it's going to be and if the team's hitting quota or not. I can look at salaries by every single job role, all levels of account executives, sales management, account managers, customer success. Let's look at sales development reps, right? This is where you start. This is where you're typically going to enter at the beginning of your sales career if software is what you choose. So on average, they've got a 55K base, 80K on target earnings, and top performers are making over 130 grand. Remember, this is just on average, okay? At the bigger companies, you're typically going to get paid more, and maybe some of the startups, some of those mid-sized companies might not be paying quite as much. But this is a great spot to be as you kind of start your career. And typically in that total compensation package, you're going to get some company stock as well. Less if it's a big publicly traded company, and more probably if they haven't gone public yet. And then from here, we can look at specific companies, look at the base salaries, the OTEs, what top performers are making. And you can see there's 89 pages, maybe more. The list just goes on and on. There's companies that are household names, Apple, Amazon, and there's companies that nobody's even heard of, pretty much. You can check them by score as well here. And what that kind of measures are these things: culture and leadership, base comp, incentive structure, product market fit, all this good stuff. You can check out the salaries, reviews, are there open jobs, where does it rank against other companies, tech stack that they use. You can even go in here and ask questions. It's pretty cool. Right, so if I'm trying to break into tech, I'm coming to LinkedIn. I'm going to go to jobs. And what I'll do is I'll say, we can go deeper on this. Maybe I can make another video, but just high level, I'm going sales development representative. Okay. Maybe we'll just use this one right here, right? Looks like they're paying pretty well. Posted this 2 weeks ago. There's 240 applicants. That's a lot. So let's go, maybe we want to apply to this company. But before I apply, I want to see what I'm getting myself into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look up this specific company on RepView. All right, top 5. The first thing I'm looking at is right here, top 5% of companies. So we already know that this is a good one. Okay. They also have a little job board, strategic enterprise development rep. Looks like they're hiring for a couple account manager roles. The reviews look really good, except for this one. Good old boys club, right? Coming here to the good stuff. All right, what are they getting paid? $69,000 base salary, $95,000 on target earnings, and top performers are making 160. 70% of the team is hitting quota. That's a really, really good sign right there. Guys, you really want to be looking for organizations where 50% or more of the team is hitting their number, because that means that you're going to go in there, and as long as you're top half of the class, you should be able to hit your number as well. What else does that mean? If you're in the top 10%, top 20% of your class, of your org, well, you're going to make really good money and you're going to creep over quota, which means you're going to make more than your OTE and you're going to start creeping up to this number, right? It's how it works. The more you produce, the more you get paid. It's sales. And in sales, you get paid for what you do. You get out what you put in, and that's why people in sales love the career. That's why people align with the career. You get out what you put in. It is not a normal 9 to 5. You have to have good hustle. You have to be focused. You have to be a good communicator. Can't be scared to hit the phones in these types of roles. You're going to be doing a lot of cold calling, a lot of cold emailing, a lot of networking with people, setting up meetings, and you're going to get paid well for it. Another thing I'm going to look at is specifically, what they're rating, the culture, leadership, and all that good stuff. Let's go through another example, though. Enterprise sales development representative at Sprinkler. Okay. Check these guys out really quick. And then I'm going to show you something else. All right, not as good of a score, but it's not bad. 80. Let's look at that sales development representative role. 65K base, 85K OTE, top performers making great money. Almost 50% of the team's hitting. It's not bad. This is not a bad opportunity. If you're good at sales, you can come in here and you can really crush it. Or if you're just a good learner, if you're a hard worker, you can do this. Don't be scared when you see 46%. That's not bad. It's almost at that 50% number. If you're a hard worker, you can get there. These roles have been in Austin. Let's say you're like, dude, well, I want a remote role. LinkedIn makes it that easy. Come in here, remote, show me all the results. I could even come in here and judge by salary, but be careful because it usually just does base, not OTE. I can even put in specific companies that I want to work for and check it every day and see, hey, when are they opening roles for me? When are they going to have what I want? So also, these are usually going to have a city or a spot, but if it says remote, like in parentheses, it doesn't matter where you're at. That's probably just like the home office. So that first role that we checked out, that's actually a remote role. So no matter where you live in the United States, you can go and get that. This looks like a decent role. Never heard of this company. Might read about the job. Look at the SDR organization. Look at what they're looking for. Keep in mind, if you crush the interview, if you network well, you don't have to match all these. You can really sell yourself. Technical account representative. The list really goes on and on for some of these entry-level sales roles. The important thing, though, is that you are looking at LinkedIn, looking at what they're looking for, going to the company, connecting. Why not? Connect with their employees, message them, ask for support, create your own referrals, get a referral before you apply, learn about the company, go to their website, do all your due diligence, make sure it's a good fit for you, go through RepView, make sure that you can succeed there. And you should really be set up for success if you're able to do this and follow all these steps. And that kind of starts wrapping up everything that I had to talk about. Um, I think, some big takeaways here when you're breaking into tech sales, when you're looking at what am I going to be doing in my first, cup year or two in this industry, what you really do is you're collaborating with a team to win business from other companies. And you're on the forefront of that. You are setting up calls, you are setting up discovery meetings, and you're doing that by cold calling, emailing, setting up internal meetings with your account executive, working with your manager, learning from other reps at the company, hitting your number, making money, getting promoted, and repeating. Um, Last thing, want to run through my community a little bit here. Tech sales trailblazers. To put this kind of buttoned up into something super simple, I work with people from A to Z on getting them into tech sales. Whether they just graduated college, didn't go to college, have sales experience, don't have sales experience. Obviously I don't work with everybody, but if you're somebody that I think can get into tech sales based off your experience, work wise and education wise, not as much education, really focus more on working experience. I'm open to partnering with you to help break you into the industry. Some companies that our students have been placed at, I hate saying students, some companies that some of my clients have been placed at are, everywhere from a big company like SAP Concur, top 10%, pretty high score. This is, 65% of the team's hitting quota. Their SDRs are making pretty darn good money. 70% are hitting quota, 60, 90, 130. It's good stuff. Also, smaller companies like Roller, really high rating. Team's doing well. Need more ratings to see how much the SDRs are making. This is actually a startup. I think they're Series B. So everything from those big blue chip companies to the smaller ones, kind of executives are making pretty good money here. Really, really cool company. This was a cool one. Another company, Snowflake, huge company. I think they had like the biggest IPO of all time when they did IPO. These guys are pretty cool. You should do some research on them. I wouldn't be surprised if they're hiring. They're almost always hiring. Their SDR team's hitting 67%. Yeah, they are hiring. Boom. Look at that. So again, as I'm doing market research, I might go to Snowflake here on LinkedIn. Totally sidetracking from talking about my community. Look at jobs, see if they have any openings. Kind of boom, right there. That's for you guys. Go apply to this. Okay. Anyways, bunch of other companies, but I don't want to get too sidetracked. So what do we include? Guys, literally everything that you need to go get into this tech sales world, right? So everything from resume templates to cover letter templates to branding your LinkedIn, kind of just like I showed you mine, getting you to that point as well. Being in a community, right? Being in a community full of people in tech sales or people on their way there. I've got about 30 people in there right now. How to find top companies in the space. We go a little bit deeper in the community than we just did today, but today was definitely a good kind of high level view of that. How do we find top companies? How do we network our way into these companies? Create our own referrals. We've got messaging templates that are included. Extremely comprehensive interview guide. I always tell the people I work with, all my clients, like, man, it's like having the answers to the test before you take it. As long as you're willing to work with me on that and go through everything, there's no reason why we shouldn't be crushing these interviews and landing a job after at least often on the first try, but if we go through 3 different companies, odds are we're getting placed with the type of success and type of foundation that we have in that guide. Probably the biggest thing, guys, is our partners. I partner with recruiters, staffing agencies, to literally just referral jobs. Just today, got off a call with now a friend of mine. She has 5 to 10 jobs open. There's 40 people at her company just like her, all recruiting for 5 to 10 jobs, all in tech sales, everything from BDR to account executive. We partner with all those people to help connect them with our clients, almost acting as a middleman of like, hey, here's this great opportunity. Let's work together. This is a really good candidate. I'm just the middleman. But creating partners with those people just brings so much value into our community. Cold call scripts, openers, cold email strategies. And lastly, one-on-one calls with me. Not a limit on how many, not really a limit on what we cover either. Oftentimes it's like if someone's having trouble, maybe they keep getting stumped on an interview, or maybe they can't figure out exactly how they want to word their resume with some of the templates that we have or their LinkedIn. We can hang out just like we're hanging out right now. Get on Zoom, get on a Google Meets call, work through it together. I'd say most of my calls are based around the interviews, especially if they're giving you like a cold call or a cold email prompt, right? Where we know that you're going to go through kind of a test like that. We'll sit down together, game plan that, and make sure that you're set up for success. I'll definitely link a Calendly link in the bio if you guys want to schedule a call with me and run through the community, get into more details about what we offer and become a tech sales trailblazer. Would love to chat with you. It's a great career. I don't see myself leaving anytime soon. I'm only continuing to build this community. We're only getting better results, working with more and more recruiters. So it's been great. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments. This is my first video, first long format video. So excited to make more of these. Tell me what you guys want. I'll be kind of riffing from here on out. So appreciate you guys hanging with me. All right.